Down from the hills to enjoy lunch. It might be a group of hay buyers from Asia here to purchase Methow Valley hay. It might be tourists from the southern states. You might even see a Cuban opera singer who works as a busboy every year to make money and take back to his family in Cuba. You never know what you're going to see in Winthrop, but it's worth the trip. Winthrop is one of my favorite places.
Now airing on Washington to Washington.
I'm going to meet Drake next week.
The use of AI chatbots.
It's always going to agree with you, which I feel like is really a red flag, honestly.
The challenge here with AI chatbots is that they are designed to be sycophants. They are designed for positive, unconditional validation.
And the impacts they're having on young people.
He gets completely lost in this thing. He goes out in July. He tells this thing, I'm in my car with a Glock. When I'm done with these hard ciders, I'm going to shoot myself.
Technologies should serve people.
State lawmakers in Washington and across the country are making AI regulation a top priority.
All of us are on the same train, and we're trying to figure out where it's going in the safest, most responsible manner.
We want to have modernized systems that leverage AI to the point that we can with chatbots and others, but making sure that that data is secured and the public is aware of where that data is coming from.
While in the nation's capital, President Trump looks to limit state regulations and encourage AI innovation.
We need to make sure that we win the innovation race, and we need to make sure that's not getting stymied at the state level.
It's incredibly important that we have uniform federal legislation so that businesses have certainty. But if the legislation is not doing enough to protect people, then states should have the right to develop the legislation that they think they need to protect people.
From the capital of Washington State to the capital of the United States. Watch anytime at tvw.org.
My name is Bo Beardall. I'm in the 8th grade from Burien, Washington. While researching enrollment rates at the Washington Achievement Council, I learned that currently there are more students enrolled in CTCs than in four-year colleges. As the number of adults with non-traditional college education grows, what laws will need to be passed to best ensure that both paths are equally valued in the workplace?
Thank you, Bo. That is a wonderful question. I am so honored to serve as the chair of our Higher Education and Workforce Development Committee because these are the types of questions that we are also asking ourselves in the Senate. We do recognize that so many students are choosing a two-year option, and it's been great to see some of our community and technical colleges not just focus on two-year degrees, but actually offer bachelor's degrees. And some of those decisions are because of affordability, being able to go to school right in your community at a community and technical college, but also many students are eager to get into the workforce and may not have 4 years to spend in college and need to get a certification so they can get right to work and start earning money. And we value this in the legislature. And so we've been talking quite a bit about how can we make sure that there are more partnerships between our community and technical colleges and workforce. How can we make sure that those certifications...
All right, thanks everyone for joining us today. Everybody ready to... Okay, perfect. I'm Communications Director Brianna Aho with the Governor's Office. Thanks very much for joining us. I will just briefly, I bumped a microphone, briefly run through the speaking order and give you some quick spellings. And
it's breezy.
I'll attempt to anyway. That was the strategic rock. That's what it was for. There we go. I will use the strategic rock. Okay, so first you'll hear from Governor Bob Ferguson. Then B. Rector, R-E-C-T-O-R, DSHS Assistant Secretary, Home and Community Living Administration. Then Sonia Thomas, T-H-O-M-A-S, Sonia, S-O-N-J-A, Professional Home Care Aide. Then Christina Keys, K-E-Y-S, an advocate for family caregivers. Then Kathy McCall, M-A-C-C-A-U-L, from AARP of Washington. Then Justin Gill, Gill, APRN and President of Washington State Nurses Association. Then Dr. Colin Romero, Romero, a retired family physician and member of Washington Physicians for Social Responsibility. Then the speakers will be available for questions before we get to the B-roll opportunity inside when we're, there we go. No rock for you.
Hold on to it.
Okay, yeah. I tested it for you. I recommend
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you everyone. With that, Governor Bob Ferguson.
Thanks, Brianna. Thanks so much for being here. We so appreciate it. And thanks to the mayor for hosting us in his wonderful city. It's great to see you, Mr. Mayor, so thank you so much. We're here, of course, to celebrate the beginning of a first-in-the-nation program, where once again Washington State is leading the way on a really important issue facing folks across the country and here in Washington State. Starting tomorrow, we're excited to say, WaCares will begin paying its first benefits to Washingtonians who need support for their long-term care needs. We're here, of course, at the home of Evelyn Wade, who relies on her niece Sonia to be her family caregiver. Please join me in a round of applause for them for hosting us today. And Evelyn, I hope you don't mind me saying, Evelyn's 87 years old. She still walks a couple miles around the neighborhood. I think she was saying just about every day. Super impressive. She's been here at this home, I think, for over 30 years. And so this is really what this program's all about, right? Is providing a help to folks for exactly the situation you're going to hear more about from Sonia in a few minutes. So I'll keep my remarks brief so we can hear from folks directly impacted by this wonderful program. But it's important to point out that in the United States, 1 in 4 adults is a caregiver. Close to 500,000 Washingtonians will experience the need for long-term care service or support within the next decade. But for most people, paying for that is, as you might imagine, a struggle. Less than 3% of Americans have a private long-term care insurance policy or enough personal savings to pay out of pocket for long-term care support and services. With an aging population and dramatic federal cuts to Medicaid, the challenge is significant. So here's the good news today. Beginning tomorrow, July 1st, thousands of Washingtonians can access their WaCares Fund benefits to help cover the cost of an in-home caregiver, equipment, home modifications, meal delivery, and others. WaCares has been decades in the making, and you know, everything, it's a cliche to say it takes a village to get something like this done, but, you know, it's true. And this is certainly the case for this program. I have the benefit of being a relatively new governor who gets to parachute in at the end to celebrate this day, but I know that it's been a lot of work for a long, long time, and I just thank everybody who's been deeply involved in this over many years to make this happen. Dedicated advocates, legislators, partners across different organizations, of which you'll hear from some today. With that, I want to turn over to B. Rector, who will say a few words, and we'll move on with the rest of our program. And of course, we'll be happy to answer a few questions at the end of the program as well. Thank you all so much, B. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Ferguson, for your remarks, and Evelyn and Sonia for being willing to share your experiences in your home, and for reminding us of how WaCares will be an essential resource for families tomorrow, as well as in the years to come. DSHS works together with Employment Security Department, the Healthcare Authority, and the Office of the State Actuary to administer the WaCares program. We partnered to build a program that we believe will bring Washingtonians greater choice, greater peace of mind when it comes to the need to navigate getting help for themselves or for a loved one. So we want to let you know how folks qualify. First, it's based on the number of years that people have worked at least 500 hours and contributed into the program. That's called vesting. Second, it's depending on the level of assistance you need with 3 or more activities of daily living. These are things like bathing, eating, moving around your home. You will either be able to access the full benefit amount, which is $36,500, which will grow with inflation in years to come, or a partial benefit based on those factors of years of work. When you're ready to apply, the WaCares team is going to be here to help you. We will check your contribution history. We will meet with you to talk about your needs for those activities of daily living assistance, and we will use that information to determine whether or not you are eligible. Applying is easy, and there are several ways to do it. Visit our website at wacaresfund.wa.gov to get started. You just create a benefits account and you fill out an application. You can also call us toll-free at 844-CARE-FOR-WA and apply over the phone, or you can get assistance from your local area agency on aging. A loved one or friend or representative can also help you apply if needed. So we are looking forward to serving qualified beneficiaries in Washington State now, and also working to expand services in 2030 to eligible Washingtonians who want to access their benefits outside the state of Washington. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sonia, and I'm a caregiver for my auntie Evelyn Wade. And I've been caregiving for her for a couple of years now, and I've been a caregiver for 10 years. So currently, she is one of my clients. I have 3 other ones that I work for, but I just want to say that my clients' needs are varied. But one thing in common, they have helped from trained, compassionate caregivers such as myself, and they are safer and they can live independently as possible in their own homes. So this is the reason why caregiving is very important, because we want our clients to live comfortably and still live the life that they have lived previously in their own home and still be independent. So I've seen how essential it is to have access to support with daily living activities, and I'm sure glad that I also have WellCare benefits when I need it. So I've been a caregiver, as I said before, for over 10 years, and what I do for my aunt, since she's 87, she's blind, I help her with daily activities like cleaning house. I help her with her meals and stuff. I take her to her doctor's appointments. Anything that she needs help with, I'm there for her. And we also on Tuesdays, we go to the church on the side of the road and we get prayed on and have something to eat. So what I pretty much do is, with a lot of my clients who are more needed help, like making their meals, helping them get dressed. I've even have clients who need Hoyer lifts to move, cleaning and everything. So I do pretty much everything a caregiver would do for a client so they can stay in their own homes. And one thing I have to say, this is one of the best jobs I've ever had. So I really appreciate, and I'm a giving person, and I love to help. So again, thank you, Auntie, for having me, and thank you guys again. Thank you.
Go ahead. My name is Christina Keys, and I'm a family caregiver advocate. Like many women, my mother at 62 had a stroke, and out of nowhere I became a family caregiver. In an instant, both her life and my life was changed. Many people who are in this situation don't know what to do. We had to figure it out ourselves. One of the things that with WellCare and the benefits we'll be able to do is be able to have people to turn to find the resources that we need to and the help we need to. We'll be able to get things like care. We'll be able to get things like the mobility tools we need for our home, the remodeling we need on our home, the transportation needs for ourselves and our loved ones. These are things that when you're a family caregiver, when you're thrown into that, when something happens, we don't know how to do. One of the things about WellCare as well is it doesn't have to be somebody who's a senior citizen. My partner of 20 years, he was 50 years old, had a career as an electrician. Out of the blue, we didn't know he had diabetes. He had a seizure that led to a stroke. our lives completely changed. And we went down to one income, and people aren't expecting that. When you're 50 years old, we're in the prime of our life, right? And so this is where things like Walk Cares can come into play. It can help us get over that hump, not only emotionally, physically, but also financially. And it helps us, give us the resources, gets us in touch with the right people to be able to continue our life and get on the road to do the right planning we need to after that $36,000, right? That first time that we're there, when that happens emotionally with us, we are not thinking clearly, so that $36,000 gives us a point where we can take a breath and figure out what we need to do next. So I'm very grateful that it's going to be there for me and for others like myself in the future.
So I'm Kathleen McCall. I'm the Advocacy Director for AARP here in the state. And I just want to give a round to these caregivers, Christina and to Sonia. The reason I do that is they are really the unheralded, unsung heroes of our long-term care system. They are doing what they do best, and that's caring for other people and taking time out of their life and out of their careers to do that work. Walk Cares is a safety net for almost 800,000 caregivers that we currently have in this state that are providing about $1.2 billion in unpaid care to help family members. We need to make sure that we continue to celebrate them and recognize them in the work that they do. I am a family caregiver for my mother, who's 88 years old with dementia. She also has some heart conditions as well. I took off time, a little time from work, but I work for AARP. All we do is talk about long-term care. And I knew all the resources that were available, all the organizations to go to. And it was still a struggle. It was stressful. At times, tears were shed of the frustration of trying to find care. We are fortunate she was a school teacher for 35 years. And so she had a little bit of a pension and was able to pay for an in-home care person so that I can go to work and represent all the incredible caregivers and work on these important policy issues. I'm proud to say I've been working on Walk Cares for over 13 years. But along with some incredible partner organizations that you are hearing from today and incredible leadership within our state. So I really want to say this is all about coming together first in the nation. We are changing what it means to age, and age with purpose and age with dignity, and more importantly, aging in the homes where people want to be, to live those lives filled with purpose and dignity. So thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Justin Gill. I'm an urgent care nurse practitioner and serve as the president for the Washington State Nurses Association. I would echo all the comments from Kathy. I think making sure that we recognize our home caregivers is essential because this is, we are seeing families, those, community members that are in the sandwich generation caring for their loved ones or trying to find a way to care for their loved ones. I think it's a story that affects all aspects of our healthcare system and our communities statewide. As an urgent care nurse practitioner, I see patients every shift who don't belong in an emergency department, yet they cycle in and out of the ER because they're unable to get the ongoing support that they need at home. We see people admitted to the hospital repeatedly for preventable reasons, and we see people of all ages who their lives have changed suddenly or unexpectedly, leaving them needing help with essential daily tasks like moving around, eating, or bathing. That's why we believe that this program, Walk Cares, is going to be a game changer, giving thousands of Washingtonians help for home care professionals to help with making sure that they take their medications as directed, stay nourished and hydrated, and are able to afford safety modifications like ramps, grab bars, or mobility equipment. And I think it's important to note that nurses, like the vast majority of middle-income workers, don't have huge nest eggs set aside to pay for uncovered long-term care. Walk Care's benefits are going to help loved ones and us when the need for care inevitably comes along. Nurses are staunch advocates for their patients and the policies that support them. And we were proud to support WaCares when it was first introduced, when it was defended, and when it was strengthened. And now we're excited to inform our patients and our community members about this program as it begins to deliver for Washingtonians. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Colin Romero. I'm a retired family physician. And first of all, I want to thank all the folks who made this happen. This was an incredible effort over a long period of time. And as a family physician and personally in my own family, we've had caregiving opportunities. My sister actually took care of my mother for the last year or two of her life. And you understand the emotional and financial toll that can take on people. Also, I should shout out to all the women who do this, because it's mostly women who do this kind of work. So thank you. And the other thing I wanted to say is that this legislation made me feel proud to be a Washingtonian, to live in a state where people care about each other. So thank you very much.
Did we cover everybody? Wonderful. Thanks to all of our speakers, and a couple things I just will add is that we talk about programs, we talk about numbers and dollars, and one thing I love about this press conference is what it really is about is what you're seeing, a home, right? It's about a home, being able to stay in a home with someone you know and you love and you trust, who could take care of you, and a home you've been in for over 3 decades, right here in this wonderful part of our state. The dignity that comes with that, the sense of place that is so important. You can't put a price tag on that, right? You can't put a dollar on that, right? That's, it's pretty fundamental, right? And so many people spoke about direct experience, right? And that's going on with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Washingtonians, where in a home just like this, they're able to have what you have. And so we're deeply appreciative for this wonderful program. And I won't be shocked if other states see what Washington's doing, as so often happens, to follow our lead. So with that, we're happy to take questions. When I get a question, I'll repeat it just so everybody can hear it. And we have others who may be jumping in to help answer questions. So happy to do our best if anyone has any questions before checking out the home. Getting up nice and easy. I won't argue if I have my... Oh, sorry, did I miss Ann? My apologies, yeah. Go for it.
So I'm wondering what the actuaries tell us with regard to how many people in our state will actually tap into this program, what that percentage looks like, so and the cost benefit of that.
I'll turn to that. So, for those, how many folks are going to tap into this? So I'm going to turn to someone who do you want to cover this? That'd be great.
So over the next 10 years, the actuaries are projecting maybe 135,000 Washingtonians will access the WaCares program.
And then maybe sort of in the lifetime of the program, I mean, by and large, how many people will typically not pay into this but not receive the benefit, or have to tap into the benefit? Maybe that's the better way to say it. How many people would pay into this but not actually realize the benefit or need it?
So 7 in 10 of us are going to need long-term care as we age, so the vast majority of us are going to need some level of assistance in order to stay in our own home. There are about 3.7 million Washingtonians working that are contributing into the program, and 7 in 10 of them are likely to use it, particularly because the legislature made an improvement after the first passage of the bill to allow it to be portable. Mm-hmm. So we are, starting this year, folks who have paid in for 3 years are able to elect to continue to pay in once they leave the state. And in 2030, we will launch benefits anywhere a Washingtonian lives or a previous Washingtonian lives.
And then just to be clear, everybody pays into this that works, right? And it's 58 cents on the $100. Is that
right?
Yes, I'm just
0.58%. Yep, 58 cents.
Again, how it works.
Yeah. So working Washingtonians pay in. There are some folks who opt out, but the vast majority of folks are going to pay in. They are going to pay in 58 cents for every $100 earned. And then based on vesting, which could be 3 of the last 6 years, and they have the level of care need that we talked about, or 10 years paid in. They will be permanently vested. And then there is a near retiree track, so folks like myself, born before 1968, may not work another 10 years, but I will get 10% for every year that I work at least 500 hours towards the benefit.
Thank you.
And that's permanent vesting as well.
Invested for 3 years, they can move elsewhere and tap into it, but then that doesn't happen again until 2030.
So the portability that was introduced into the law is that for folks who have paid in 3 years, so we started paying premiums in 2023. So starting now in 2026, folks who leave the state are allowed to elect to continue to contribute into WaCares, and they have a year from the time they leave Washington to decide if they want to continue to contribute. And then we will be allowing those benefits to be paid outside of Washington beginning in 2030.
Thanks so much, everybody. We're around, and I think what's next. Oh, sorry, Sonia, go for it, Sonia.
Is there a way to find out how much you have personally invested? Is there?
Yeah, it's a great question.
I like great questions from. This is good. This is good.
It's a great question. Is there a way to find out how many years you've paid in? And there is. You can request a program statement, and you're able to see how many years you paid in, what you have paid in, and that will help folks make, decisions. Like, for instance, somebody might retire and say, hey, I'm going to pick up a part-time job in order to continue to contribute and get the full benefit.
Is there a website they can get that statement from?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
How pertaining to Washington being the first state for this, how do we get other states or talk with other states to get this started implementing? Is there any ideas of that?
Yeah, so the question is, hey, how do we get other states to follow our lead? I guess I'll share a couple thoughts about that. So, in my experience, as 12 years as Attorney General, now almost a year and a half as governor, I could say, I pay close attention to what my colleagues are doing and what's happening in other states. That's informal, I'm just checking it out, but also it's formal. We have conferences, we get together, we talk about issues. This is the type of thing governors talk about when they get together, or attorneys general if there's in that side of my life, right? You're talking about what kind of cases, what kind of consumer protection things are going on. We talk to each other, right, on a very, very regular basis. And so, especially states that I think it's fair to say that share kind of the values that we have as Washingtonians, to see, hey, how can we work together and to learn from each other? So that is just a common part of my life. And I think also the folks here have their own networks in other states where they're communicating in a similar way. So what I would say is I have very little doubt that in the coming months I'll have colleagues, combination of reaching out directly, hey, saw you did this, how's that working, right? Or talking to my team, right, at the staff level, or reaching out to the kind of folks you see here, ARP as an example, right? I won't be shocked if there's communications there across the country. So, like I said, I'd be surprised if we get a few years down the road and other states aren't starting to follow this model here in Washington. Yeah, thanks. Did you have one more? Yeah.
I was wondering about is this a living thing, so to speak? In other words, could it evolve? One of the criticisms I'm hearing is that there are some people who might want to opt out. I see there are exemptions, but there's not that many. So for people who feel like I can't afford this, number one, or for people who feel like I do better on my own in the private market, what can you say to them? Because I feel like their hands are tied. They've got to buy into this and they've got to pay into it.
Yeah, so I guess the question, hey, can or will this law evolve? I mean, you've already seen it evolve, right? It was mentioned early on the portability, right? That was something pretty quickly that was elevated and realized, let's talk about that. Let's make a change. So what I would say for any law that we adopt, especially a big one, something big like this, first of its kind in the country, I think we've seen here, you're always looking at, hey, how can it be improved? You learn from experience, you go through it. Well, what do we want to change? How can we improve this? So it'd be no different than any law, especially one of this level of magnitude where you're the first to do it. You're, I think, constantly evaluating it, but I think by any fair measure, this is a huge success. It's going to help transform lives across our state. I'm confident other states will want to model it, but we're always open to improvements, obviously, as time goes on. So I think, am I right, that folks are maybe heading inside? Is that right? So another round of applause for our host for opening up her wonderful home. We so appreciate.
This is my daughter.
Oh, is that right? Hello. Yeah, it's great to see you. Yeah, I'm Bob. Wonderful to see you. And your name is?
Vivian.
Vivian, so great to see you.
That's my baby.
That's her baby daughter, Vivian. Yeah.
The favorite.
Vivian, thanks so much for being here. Yeah, really appreciate it. And so, we'll pause this part of the program and get some things out of the way and move on to the next part. Thanks so much, everybody. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Hey, thank you so much. Yeah.